Well, here we are this weekend. Now, we put those storms to bed Friday evening, and that was a nice round of rowdy storms, and we needed it, much needed, and we've had storm chances all of last week, the culmination of which was last night. We're going to have storms all weekend, and we'll even push them into next week. But along with pushing storms into next week, you get ready for some hot temperatures, and with the hot temperatures, with the heat, you also should expect a little bit of uncomfortableness. Now, it's not the deep south. When we talk about being muggy, it's not like 95% humidity with 95-degree readings. 30% humidity. Dew points in the 50s for storm development. So that's what we're talking about. It's just slightly uncomfortable. So make sure you take care of yourself with the hot temperatures. It's not just what we experienced today, because today we are pretty close to the averages for this time of the year. But getting into tomorrow, getting into next week, we're going to have some hots. We may not challenge records, but we will be close for many. Under our current pattern with the high pressure system just to our south, kind of meandering back and forth, we have very little drying opportunities. As the high pressure system pushes west to the Four Corners region, it isolates itself from that direct subtropical tap, so we don't get a great storm opportunity, but it's recycling what rain potential we have in our atmosphere. It just keeps recycling that in the heat of the day and the mountain zones, and every once in a while we get a little wiggle of energy coming down along the periphery of that high pressure system, and that's all enough to get storms going. Plus our atmosphere. Grand Junction has been recording anonymously high water content in the atmosphere, so it's there. And we just need to keep our fingers crossed, because all we've been getting so far are these isolated little storms that move through. But when you get half a dozen of them moving through your county in the late afternoon hours, you know, that tends to put down some rain. So we'll go with these late day storms all the way into the end of next week. That's the forecast that we also had last week. That's the forecast that we're going to maintain for the weekend. Now, average high temperature for Grand Junction is 95. Average high temperature for Montrose is 90. So you can see just how close we were and will be for Saturday. Average temperatures, a little bit of uncomfortability because of that added humidity in the atmosphere, but it's because we have storm potential, and that storm potential is going to continue. But look at this. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, record temperatures for Grand Junction. This is the kind of heat I'm talking about. Record temperatures for Grand Junction, 104, 105. So while we're not exactly knocking on the door, we are going to be looking at our 8th day at least at or above 100 degrees. We've already bagged 7. We did that last week. I think it was Thursday when we had our 7th day. That kind of snuck in there. We had an upper 90-degree forecast that day. We ended up with triple-digit readings. So getting into the end of the weekend and getting into the start through the middle of next week, we're expecting some hotter temperatures. So that's great conditions if you've cut your grass and you're laying it down to dry because of the storms we've had this weekend, and we'll continue to do so. Next week, this is a better chance for you to dry that grass, dry that hay, dry that alfalfa, and picking peaches too. Peaches love to juice up and get really sweet with these hot temperatures. So that's an opportunity for next week to get that picking done with these first couple of varieties. With that being said, I also want you to keep in mind these heat safety tips, okay? You're outside working, start early. Sunrise is popping up right around 6 o'clock. Kind of depends on where you are, but last week that sunrise, and 2 weeks ago that sunrise was occurring at 5:45. So we're pushing it slowly, albeit surely, and I'm not calling you Shirley, but we are pushing that sunrise a little bit later into the morning hours. So get up early, enjoy your day, get your chores done, get your exercise done. I'm not telling you what to do, because I'm going to start jogging on Sunday, and I'm going to end up doing it in the early morning hours when it's not as hot. Of course, I haven't figured out all the logistics of running around. I'll get it. I'll let you know next week how it went for me.